time ago, in a world filled with beauty but also darkness, people had forgotten kindness, love, and respect for creation. The earth was filled with violence, and God, watching from the heavens, was saddened. The world had turned away from goodness, and he decided it was time to start anew. But among all the people, there was one man who still walked in righteousness: Noah. A wise and kind-hearted elder, with his long white beard, warm eyes, and simple robes, he lived peacefully with his family. By his side was his loyal friend Rex, a towering green brachiosaurus, gentle but strong, with big, expressive eyes and a heart as brave as a lion. One day, as Noah tended to his farm, a divine light shone upon him. A voice, warm and powerful, echoed through the sky. "Noah, my faithful servant, I have chosen you. A great flood will wash away the wickedness of the world, but you and your family shall be saved. You must build an ark, an enormous vessel to carry every creature, great and small, to safety. I will guide you." The great construction begins. Noah gathered his family, and together they began the impossible task, building the ark, a massive wooden structure as grand as a mountain, stretching across the golden fields. But they were not alone. Rex called upon his dinosaur family. Strong triceratops carried heavy logs, towering brontosauruses helped lift beams, and nimble velociraptors ran back and forth delivering supplies. But not everyone believed. The villagers and the mischievous pterosaurs laughed. The great flood begins. One night, as Noah and Rex rested, the voice of God returned. "The time has come. The rains will fall for 40 days and 40 nights. Prepare yourselves." Noah and Rex awoke at dawn to an incredible sight. A long line of animals stretching beyond the horizon, waiting to board the ark. The doors had been sealed by God's power, and soon the waters rose, lifting the ark high above the land, surviving the storm. For 40 days and 40 nights, the ark sailed across an endless ocean. They shared food, stories, and hope as they waited for the storm to pass. Then, one morning, as the sky began to clear, Noah sent out a small dove to find dry land. But it returned with nothing. The floodwaters still covered the earth. A week later, Noah released the dove once more. This time, it returned with a small olive branch in its beak. Noah smiled. The waters are lowering. The earth is being restored. But the final test came 7 days later, when the dove was released once more, and it never returned. God's promise and a new beginning. 2 months later, as the ground dried, the voice of God spoke one last time. "Noah, Rex, and all creatures aboard the ark, step forward. The world is reborn. Go forth and fill it with goodness." As the great doors of the ark opened, the animals ran free, dancing and roaring in celebration. Then, a miraculous sight filled the sky. A brilliant, colorful ark stretched from one horizon to the other. God had placed the first rainbow as a promise to all living beings. "Never again shall the world be destroyed by water. This rainbow shall be a sign of my everlasting covenant." Noah and Rex stood together, watching their families and friends settle into their new home. And as they gazed toward the heavens, they knew they had been part of something truly divine.
The roar of the sea. It all began on a cold morning along the rocky coast of prehistoric Patagonia. The sky was cloudy, and the wind whispered warnings through the cliffs. Suddenly, a deep roar echoed from the ocean. Rex, the green brachiosaurus with bright blue spots and big golden eyes, lifted his head, startled. Something wasn't right. The waves began to churn. Then, bursting from the water, came Navo, a massive plesiosaurus with smooth, dark blue skin and glowing eyes. In his mouth, he carried a strange object, a magical bubble helmet made from coral and shimmering pearls. "Rex, I need your help," Navo called. "There's something strange happening deep under the sea." Without hesitation, Rex placed the helmet on his head and climbed onto Navo's back. Their underwater adventure had begun. The hidden world below. As they dove into the deep, Rex's eyes widened in amazement. Glowing fish swam beside them. Giant plants waved like ribbons in the current. There were crystal-covered caves and ruins of an ancient underwater city. But not all was peaceful. Broken pillars floated. Strange vibrations pulsed through the water. The deeper they went, the darker it became. "What is this place?" Rex whispered. "It's a sunken city," Navo replied. "And I think something inside is waking up." The trap of the abyss. They swam into a great stone chamber filled with glowing symbols. Suddenly, boom! A giant gate slammed shut behind them, trapped. From the shadows, mysterious ancient sea creatures began to move. "We need to leave, now!" shouted Navo. Bright magical lights flickered above them, revealing a tunnel, but the water twisted into a spinning vortex. They were running out of time. The Great Escape. With Rex holding on tight, Navo twisted and darted through the collapsing ruins. Cracks split the sea floor. Stones tumbled from above. Explosions of light and steam filled the water. Rex's bubble helmet began to blink. His air was almost gone. Navo pushed forward with all his strength, speeding through narrow caves and dodging falling debris. And just in time, they burst out of the water, gasping for breath. Behind them, the underwater city faded into silence once more. The mystery remains. Back on the shore, the wind was calm. Rex removed his helmet and looked out at the ocean, still in awe. "That was incredible," he whispered. Navo chuckled. "You were brave, Rex, and I have a feeling this won't be our last dive." They watched the waves together, knowing that the ocean held many more mysteries waiting to be discovered.
Rex's Jungle Storm Escape. A thrilling and educational story for kids.
The prehistoric sun shined brightly over the jungle, a perfect day for exploring or racing. In the heart of the jungle, two dinosaurs were ready for an epic showdown. Rex, the playful young apatosaurus, faced off against Trixie, the fastest triceratops in the land. The race began. Rex and Trixie dashed through the jungle, weaving between giant roots and leaping over fallen logs, leaving behind a massive cloud of dust. But in his excitement, Rex didn't see the giant mud puddle ahead. Plop! Rex's big, round body landed face first in the mud. Oh no.
Ugh, not again.
Rex, I think you took a shortcut, straight into the mud.
Just as Rex was about to protest, the jungle suddenly darkened. The sun disappeared behind thick, swirling clouds. A deep, rumbling thunder shook the earth, and a gust of wind sent leaves flying everywhere.
Trixie, is this normal?
And then, boom! A massive lightning bolt split the sky. The wind howled like a roaring beast. The race was over. Now, something much bigger was coming. Whoosh! The wind roared like a giant dinosaur, shaking the jungle to its roots. Crack! Trees bent under the storm's fury, their branches snapping like twigs. Rex dug his feet into the ground, trying not to be swept away by the powerful winds. But it wasn't enough. His big round body started sliding backward. He flailed his legs, but the wind was just too strong.
Trixie, the wind is taking me away.
Hold on, Rex.
She grabbed his tail to stop him, but instead, both of them tumbled like giant rolling snowballs. They rolled down a hill, through bushes, and finally, splat, plop! Uh-oh. Rex landed face first in the mud again. That's twice in one day.
Okay, this is just getting ridiculous.
Before they could react, a desperate cry echoed through the storm. Help! Oh no, someone was in trouble. But who and where? The answer came fast. A small dinosaur was trapped in the mud. Oh no! A tiny ankylosaurus was sinking. What would you do? Would you run to help or look for something to pull him out? Let's see what Rex decides.
Don't worry, buddy. We'll get you out of there.
Rex tried to step forward, but splat! He slipped and slid straight into the mud like a giant toboggan.
This was not part of the plan. I need something strong, something long, something like my tail.
He turned, stretched his long tail toward the little ankylosaurus, and it worked. The tiny dino grabbed onto Rex's tail and held on for dear life. With one huge pull, Rex flung the little dino up onto his back. It worked! The little ankylosaurus was safe.
Whoa, that actually worked!
But their troubles weren't over yet. Crack! A massive tree was falling, right toward them. Run! Rex and the little dino ran for their lives. The jungle was collapsing around them. The storm was at its peak. Trees crashed down, rain poured in thick sheets, and thunder boomed across the sky. The ground shook, the wind roared, and up ahead, there, a cave, their only chance.
That's it! The cave! Run!
Boom! Silence! Just the sound of heavy breathing. Then they looked at each other and burst into laughter.
That was insane!
But we made it!
The night passed, and when the sun finally rose, wow, the storm had changed everything. A brand new shimmering lake had appeared in the middle of the jungle. Tiny waterfalls trickled from the rocks, and the jungle was more beautiful than ever. The storm was gone, and in its place, a new paradise had formed.
Whoa, this is amazing!
And just like that, it was time for fun.
Last one in is a rotten egg!
Thank you so much for watching us. Follow us for stories.
The end!
Deep in the ocean where the lights are dim lives a little swimmer with a glowing fin. Ancient as the dinos, but he's kind and sweet, with a tiny lantern dancing to the beat. Glow, glow, little fish, shining bright where the waves go swish. Dinosaurs lived long ago, but the ocean's magic still glows. Through the currents he drifts and plays, hiding from the world in mysterious ways. Though he looks a little wild, he's a friend of the ocean, sweet and mild. Glow, glow, little fish, shining bright where the waves go swish. Dinosaurs lived long ago, but the ocean's magic still glows. Deep in the ocean where the lights are dim lives a little swimmer with a glowing fin. The ocean where the lights are dim lives a little swimmer with a glowing fin. Glow, glow, little fish, shining bright where the waves go swish. Glow, glow, little fish, ocean's magic still glows.